Hello, my name is Sabrina Brightstar. I am your host. Keep your hand in your skirt podcast. Why do I call it that? That means mind your own damn business. Have you guys heard Tim Waltz says the Minnesota slogan is mind your own the golden rule in Minnesota is mind your own damn business? That is hilarious because as a person who was born and raised in Minnesota, nobody minds their own damn business. So that just cracks me up when I hear him say that. But maybe he's from the future because I do believe that's where we're going. Mind your own damn business, manage your own self. And that leads to today's conversation, authenticity, authenticity, authenticity. What is the new currency? What is the new currency for manifestation? What is the new currency for success? What is the new currency to help you summon, actualize everything you desire? And the currency, I believe, is authenticity, authenticity. Why is authenticity so important and why is it becoming easier to access as the collective consciousness is evolving and is growing? I believe it is showing up and people are becoming more aware, not only of authenticity, I would say before you even get to that deeper layer of authenticity, a phase or a cycle comes into your life where you recognize and you start to see and witness how many masks you wear. Most of us have been trained and conditioned to wear masks. We wear masks. For those of you who don't know, I teach conscious business, and one of the things in the conscious business classes that I teach, we see the old programming was the customer is always right. So we were taught in order to be able to work someplace or to keep a job someplace, we had to wear a mask and we had to pretend that the customer is always right. We couldn't show if a customer was being annoying or irritating or disrespectful. We couldn't stand up for ourselves. We couldn't use our voice to say, hey, you're being an asshole, or hey, you're being disrespectful, or hey, I don't feel honored in your presence. We weren't allowed to do that. We had to wear a mask because we were taught the customer's always right and you just have to take it. You just have to take it. You have to pimp yourself out for that job, that almighty dollar. Like you wear a mask for money. Ooh, that is so deep. That is so fucking deep. How many times have you worn a mask for money? I'm just going to let you think about that. I'm seeing work environments, I'm seeing business meetings, I'm seeing so many things where we wear masks because we have fear of losing our job, fear of not making the sale, fear of not getting the client. That is just so messed up, right? It's just so, no wonder so many of us are fake and phony. Like our day-to-day life depended on being fake and phony. Because if you lost your job, if you lost your money, then how are you going to live? How are you going to provide housing and food and housing for yourself? So our basic human needs, this is so complicated and deep, and I'm so excited I'm saying this. I realize right now, our basic human needs, our basic human requirements for food and shelter have been so entwined with wearing a mask in order to have that security, for shelter and food. Many of us literally had to wear a mask to have that financial safety of having shelter and food. And that program is just, it's fucked up. It's a mess, but it's the past. Things are changing. Consciousness is evolving, which is great. And that's what we are here to talk about today. So as we start to see all of the areas that we wear masks, that we've been wearing a mask on autopilot, maybe not even aware that you're wearing a mask. And as we start to take time and breathe into that, take a conscious breath and oh wow, have self-compassion. I really feel the 2025 word is going to be the year of self-compassion. Talk about that at a later day. But as we can have self-compassion for how programmed we've been for survival, because we've lived in a fear-based reality, most of our choices are based on fear of what would happen if we would show up authentically, fear of what would happen if we would speak our truth, fear has just been, I recently heard I love this guy named Billy Carson, and he referred to fear as a lord. And literally the Achman or something. He's better. Listen to Billy Carson. But Achman, the reason we say amen is from this being who decided he wanted to be the Lord of all lords, the God of all gods, and he controlled the people. And that's why prayers, at the end of the prayer, they say Achman after his name, which turned into Amen, is how we translate it now. But that means like we were actually praying to this God. When you say amen, you're praying to this God who wants you to be in fear in order to control you. That was a total huge side note, but check out Billy Carson. He's my new favorite multidimensional soul family. So going back to authenticity, like no wonder we're not authentic, no wonder we're afraid to be authentic, because we haven't seen the role models. Who have you seen demonstrate authenticity without fear? And in a respectful, like, because you can say, oh, I'm authentic, but words are free and cheap. I'm not a big fan, right? Like, words are free and cheap, but your actions, your vibration speaks loud and clear. You can't fool vibration. You can't fool vibration. You can be a phony with your words. You can be fake. You can manipulate. You can be in the program with your words, but you can't be with your vibration. So where is this going? How is consciousness, how is the evolution of consciousness helping us release our masks and our different faces we wear for survival? Like, think of love even. Think of your family even. Like, how many of us just knew there's certain things you do not say or do in front of mom and dad. It's not tolerated. And you knew that, you were programmed that way. And so you didn't say or do those things. And so as a grown-ass adult, how many programs are you still running in your family circles or in your relationships with people? How many people have conditioned you like, this is not allowed. If you say and do that, you'll get rejected. You might get the silent treatment. You might get screamed at, but there's going to be side effects or consequences if you show up authentic, being your real self. Like, it's fascinating, isn't it? Like, and often the people, like with my kids, for example, they tell me, like, I'm so sweet. I was like such an easy parent. Like, I didn't like, I am so tender-hearted. I couldn't do discipline. I couldn't do, like, that's, like, I'm just not wired that way. I'm just so sensitive and so soft. So, but my kids would say, like, I could give a look, and they didn't want that look from me. And I think, really? Like, in my mind, like, I was just so, in my mind, I was just so kind and loving. But they could pick up on my body language. They could pick up on my vibration, right? And they could tell certain things I did not want them to say or do, or they got the look. So even in my trying to parent in a very conscious way, in a very mindful way, I unintentionally program them to be fake and phony in front of me if it was something that they didn't feel safe to be their authentic self in front of me. And that, like, is a hard pill to swallow, because when you're trying to be a mindful parent or a mindful friend or mindful lover, and then you find out later that this person had this fear of being able to be authentic in front of you because there were consequences. Like it gives us self-compassion. Self-compassion is really like what is helping us remove the mask. First of all, to discover that there are masks. First of all, let's discover that we wear masks. We show up certain ways to be accepted, to be seen, to be acknowledged, to be included. But it's safe now. It's safe now to discover where we're being fake, where we're wearing masks. It's safe. And then when we discover that we're wearing masks, we can start to choose. We can start to have consciousness, awareness, and choose not to wear the masks. Choose to be our authentic self. Authenticity, I'm telling you, it's the currency. Authenticity is the currency for everything. That's where we're going. Because you can't lie to vibration, and people can tell when it's an authentic, if you're in sales, if you're in business, if you have a job, if you have, you're developing a friendship, a connection, a relationship. Like, you cannot fool vibration. People can feel the real you. Initially, you can trick people initially, but as our consciousness is becoming more acute, right? As our sensitivity is becoming more acute, like we can catch it. We can catch like, oh, this person's words say this, but my body's telling me like this isn't safe, or my body's telling me we're not a match. And as we get to uncover more of our own consciousness, is if we get to uncover more of our capacities to read vibration, to understand vibration, authenticity is going to be the highest commodity. It's going to be such a valuable commodity to learn how to be your authentic self, because you are going to have so much success, like in everything, because people are like, your relationships are going to be long-term relationships if you're being authentic, if you're being, your real self. Your financial situation is going to improve. Like, every area of your life will improve as we develop and master our own authenticity. Authenticity. It's the way of the future. It's where the collective conscious is going. And why would that be? Well, because we're leaving the separation program. We're leaving the polarity program. So to leave the polarity program and separation program, we are slowly uncovering, unmasking a universal truth. And to me, that universal truth is we are one. I am you and you are me. We are different fractals or aspect of the one. So I'm not more valuable, you're not more valuable. We are one. So as we get back to that core knowing that we all equally matter, that we're all equally valuable, that we are all a part of the one, our authenticity it's going to be a natural, it's naturally going to unfold, that we're going to be having more and more transparency and authenticity, because you can't fool vibration. You cannot fool vibration. This is so deep. I know I haven't necessarily explained it, but I can feel like if I can just take a pause, if you can take a pause, and even if what I'm saying isn't really landing, just ask yourself to share more of this data, there's seeds being planted. There's seeds that are ready to bloom for us to understand about removing the masks and stepping into our authenticity. Oh, my body just feels, this is intense. So, removing the masks. Thanks for listening.